When people think about Nazi Germany, they often think about Holocaust or World War II. But millions of innocent civilians suffered under the Hitler's regime. Among them were countless of Polish girls whose lives destroyed by brutal Nazi policies. Among them were countless young Polish girls whose lives were destroyed by brutal Nazi policies. After Germany invaded Poland in 1939, the Nazis began a campaign of terror. Families were separated, homes were taken, and entire communities lived in fear. Many young Polish girls were forced into hard labor. They were taken from their families and sent to Germany to work in factories, farms, and private homes. They worked long hours under harsh conditions, often with little food or medical care. Others became victims of sexual violence. Many girls and women were assaulted by German soldiers and officials. These crimes left lasting physical and emotional scars on survivors. Some children were kidnapped simply because they looked what the Nazis considered Aryan. If a Polish child had blonde hair, blue eyes, or other features that fit Nazi racial ideology, they could be taken from their parents, given new German names, and raised by German families. Many never saw their families again. Girls who helped the Polish resistance faced terrible punishment. Many were arrested, tortured during interrogations, imprisoned in concentration camps, or executed. Inside camps such as Auschwitz and Ravensbrück, some women and girls were subjected to cruel medical experiments without their consent. The experiments caused lifelong injuries and, in many cases, deaths. But these were only some of the crimes committed by Nazi Germany. The Nazis murdered around 6 million Jewish people during the Holocaust. Millions of non-Jewish civilians were also killed, including Poles, Soviet civilians, Roma, people with disabilities, political prisoners, and many others. Entire villages were burned, civilians were executed in mass shootings, millions of people were deported, starved, imprisoned, or forced into labor. These crimes were driven by a racist ideology that claimed some people were superior to others. That ideology led to one of the darkest chapters in human history. Remembering these victims is important not to spread fear or hatred, but to understand the consequences of intolerance, dictatorship, and racism. If you found this video informative, you can leave a comment with another historical topic you'd like to learn about. So if I wanna say a summary, it was in 5 categories. First, forced labor, then sexual violence, then kidnapping for Germanizations, imprisonment and executions, and medical experiments. And about the last medical experiments, at Auschwitz concentration camp, 200 to 300 Polish children from the Zemsko. Zemsko is a country in southeastern of Poland. From the Zemsko area were murdered by the Nazi by phenol injections. The child was placed on a stool, occasionally blindfolded with a piece of a towel. The person performing the execution then placed one of his hands on the back of the child's neck and another behind the shoulder blade. As the child's chest was thrust out, a long needle was used to inject a toxic dose of phenol into the chest. The children usually died in minutes. A witness described the process as deadly efficient, as they would not even a moan would be heard. And they didn't wait until the doomed person really died during his agony. He was taken from both sides under their armpits and thrown into a pile of corpses in another room, and the next victim took his place on the stool. This image is from Czechoslovakia, one of many Polish children murdered at Auschwitz by the Nazis. Rest in peace, Czechoslovakia. I'm working really hard to make each video better than the last, and your feedback, your comments, your subscriptions will motivate me to make better contents.